After 2 days, consult your doctor. Rexall Paracetamol, another quality product from Daily Need Industries.
Splash FM 105.5.
This is Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. I'm Oluwafemi Akinola, welcoming you to the program, The Conversation. All right, so we're here. So let's take a look at some of the stories making headlines from Nigeria's newspaper today. And so from there, we'll also be visiting some other tabloids that probably are just online tabloids. Let me start from the Nigerian Tribune. Alleged drug trafficking, Tinubu forfeited. He forfeited $460,000 in US, APC tells tribunal. And so the lawyers were making the differences between criminal forfeiture and civil forfeiture. Is there anything like civil forfeiture? If you check the meaning of forfeiture, actually, what does it mean? 104 stranded Nigerians returned from Chad. That's also coming from Nigerian Tribune this morning. Is it a curse? Tinubu's aide trolls Peter Obi for referring to Adebanjo as daddy. Okay. Why are you concerned about what he calls someone? I mean, why is it anybody's business, whatever Obi decide to call anyone? If he wants to call anybody uncle or daddy or mommy or whatever, I mean, isn't it his choice? Okay. Former Anambra Governor Mbatinuju dies at 78. That's coming from Nigerian Tribune this morning. Election Tribunal, LP, Obi's prayers are not grantable. INEC tells court to dismiss suit. So we'll look at that. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has told the Presidential Election Petition Court, PEPC, to dismiss a suit by Peter Obi of the Labour Party because the reliefs sought are not grantable. Nigeria's electoral body, INEC, disclosed this on Monday at the PEPC Secretariat by its lawyer, Abubakar Mahmood Essayed in Abuja. The commission asked the court to either dismiss or strike out the suit for being nebulous, generic, grossly incompetent, abusive, vague, general, non-specific, ambiguous, equivocal, hypothetical, and academic. Daily Post reported that Peter Obi, the first petitioner, and the LP, the second petitioner, had sued INEC, Bola Tinubu, Kashim Shettima, and the All Progressives Congress APC as a first to fourth respondent. The petitioners are seeking the nullification of the election victory of Tinubu and Shettima in February 25 presidential poll. We'll look at some of these arguments from the Punch newspaper in a moment, just so that you can also get a sense of what it's in the petition. So the Punch newspaper also has a story. But Tinubu won presidential poll. INEC tells tribunal. That's what INEC is saying. Benue government suspends enforcement of anti-grazing law temporarily. National Assembly proposes jail terms for Ponzi scheme promoters. That's interesting. So if you are promoting Ponzi scheme, National Assembly is proposing jail term for such a person. Warren Plateau lawmakers shun CP's peace meeting, and bandits levy abductees' families 850,000 naira for destroyed motorcycles. That's coming from the Punch. Fuel price soars by 81% despite 6 trillion naira subsidy payment that's coming from a report. And I'm interested in that story. Let's quickly take a look at that. The price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, has risen by 81% in the past 3 years, according to the National Bureau of Statistics reports analyzed by Punch correspondents. The scheme has findings show that the federal government has paid about 5.83 trillion naira subsidy on petroleum products. And MBS data showed that between February 2020 and February 2023, the price of fuel rose from 145 naira 41 kobo a liter to 263 naira 76 kobo a liter. How much do you buy petrol now? I bought one at the NPC filling station at Molete at 189 naira. Some other filling station at 195, some 230, some 250 naira a liter. The MBS report stated that the average retail price paid by consumers for premium motor spirit in February 2023 was 263 naira 76 kobo, indicating a 54.76% increase when compared to the value recorded in February 2022, which was 170 naira 42 kobo. Likewise, comparing the average price with the previous months, the average retail price increased by 2.58% from 257 naira 12 kobo. So the question we are asking this morning is, what exactly is the subsidy for if we are buying at this price? I mean, at a price that is not, consistent with the official price. And so, exactly what is the official price of petrol in Nigeria today? And then how much do you buy it? So when they eventually remove subsidy, so you ask yourself, what are we paying for now? And what are we going to remove when June comes? What are we removing? So these are questions that I'd like us to find an answer to on the program this morning. So let's get back to the Punch newspaper story on what INEC is saying this morning. INEC said Tinubu won the election. Tinubu won presidential poll. INEC tells Tribunal. So I'll take a slice of that story too. INEC has asked the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja to dismiss all petitions challenging the declaration of Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the 25th of February presidential election. INEC had declared that Tinubu polled 8,794,726 votes to win the election. The commission declared that the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, came second, and Labour Party candidate, Obi, second runner-up. But Atiku, Obi, and other parties rejected the result announced by INEC and headed for the tribunal with prayers different from one another. In its defense to the various petitions filed through its team of lawyers, led by Mahmoud SAN, INEC described Atiku's petition as grossly incompetent, vague, and academic, saying it was an abuse of the court process. INEC affirmed that having scored at least 1/4 of the valid votes cast in 29 states, which is over and above the 24 states threshold required by the Constitution, in addition to the scoring of the highest number of lawful votes cast at the election, Tinubu was properly declared winner and returned as president-elect. On the issue of Tinubu not winning the FCT, INEC argued that going by the provisions of the 1999 Constitution, the FCT has the status of a state and ought to be recognized as one of the states of the Federation. INEC insisted that it declared Tinubu as winner of the election, considering that he scored highest valid votes cast at the election and at least 25% of the votes cast in not less than 2/3 of the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The first respondent pleads and shall at the trial of the suit rely on all the electoral forms, including and not limited to Form ECSA, BCB, ECSC, ECSD, and ECBE used in the course of the election. The FCT, beyond being the capital of Nigeria, has no special status over and above the other 36 states of the Federation to require a candidate in the presidential election to obtain at least 25% of the votes cast in the FCT before being declared winner of the election. The first respondent shall also contend at the trial of the suit that the FCT is regarded as the 37th state of the Federation, and as such, a candidate needs to score 25% of the valid vote cast in at least 2/3 of 37 states to be declared as winner. And the first respondent advised that the second respondent scored 25% of the valid votes in 29 states of the Federation, as stated in its submission. So, you can read more from this particular story. You see it from the front page of the Punch newspaper. The electoral body INEC said that it kept its promise to Nigerians in conducting free, fair, transparent, and credible elections by deploying the BVAS device and conducting accreditation of voters electronically and uploading scanned copies of polling unit election results to the IREV portal. INEC also asserted that uploading election results to the IREV portal is not a condition precedent to the declaration of the winner of an election under the Electoral Act. So here is INEC's defense. The Act does not require that INEC will transmit results to the IREV portal before determining or declaring the winner of the presidential election. And INEC further stated that it had all the physical hard copies of the results sheets from which it collated and tabulated the scores of the candidates. It says further that the result sheets were uploaded via its e-transmission system to the IREV portal. So you can read more from the INEC defense itself, from that election. And so if you have contrary opinion to it, the court will have to decide as we move on. So let's get to the Nation newspaper this morning. Atiku didn't meet conditions to win, INEC tells tribunal. That's a front page story from the Nation newspaper. I guess it's just another version of what I just read. It talks about this, how INEC viewed the process and what it came out from that process. Oti names Aruma Ote, Omogui, others as transition council members. That's coming from the Nation newspaper. Nigeria to lose $23 billion to crude theft this year, but Abia Miller warns. Imagine how much we are losing and we are announcing it rather than finding the reason why we are going to lose such humongous amount of money, $23 billion. That's really a serious one. Okay, so that's coming from the Nation newspaper. House of Rep Speaker Femi Bajabia-Mila yesterday was speaking and he was talking about how much Nigeria will be losing. He said he lamented that Nigeria's dwindling revenue from the oil sector, that the country loses $700 million monthly to crude oil theft. So we're back at the stories on crude oil theft. The speaker who also expressed doubt over the ability to meet its 2023 proposed daily oil production target of 1.69 million barrels, pointed out that the available data suggests that we may lose up to $23 billion to crude oil theft this year. Bamila added that between January and July last year, Nigeria lost $10 billion to oil theft. The speaker spoke while declaring open the House of Representatives ad hoc committee hearing on the illegal sale of stolen 48 million barrels of Nigeria's crude oil in China. And Nigeria is said to have lost 2.4 billion revenue to that transaction. You can imagine how much we are losing, that's unfathomable. Unfathomable, rather. I'll be back after this timeout for some analyses, and then I'll take your calls.
Splash FM 105.5.
When I wake up in the morning, I need something to help me start my day. Pick 4, 5, 6 has DHA. It helps my brain to grow. It helps me to be smart. Oh, my own milk. Oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah.
La 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 la. Ìyá ọlọ́gbọ́n. wo lẹ̀ ń ṣe?
Mo ń ṣe oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456.
Oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 kẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó ní àlékún DHA, èyí tó ń ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé. Bákan náà ló tún ní káṣíọ̀mù, fítámìn D àti onígà ńlá protein láti mú àwọn ọmọ rẹ dàgbà kí wọ́n sì lágbára.
Mo fẹ́ràn ẹ̀. Màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fi mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 tó ní àlékún DHA, èyí tó ń ṣàtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé fi kún àwọn èròjà ìṣaralóore fún àwọn ọmọ mi.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Dàgbà kó lágbára kó sì jáfáfá pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 lójoojúmọ́.
My brothers, I greet you. Uche, have you lost respect for tradition? How can you reach for the garden egg when there are elders who have not been served?
Brother, is it not just garden egg?
Just garden egg, you say?
Being the head of the family is no easy task. It's in moments like this I turn to my Dubik malt, made with the respect and honor for tradition we all hold dear. Dubik malt is a drink for any moment.
Dubik malt, crown the moment.
My people, no let new naira and cashless matter worry you. Hope Bank dey your phone, 500 naira a week day. So if you want send mama money, abi to buy Amaka recharge card, to give customer money, abi customer wan give you money.
Hope dey your phone, 500 naira a week day.
My people, your phone number na ATM card and account number oh.
Yes, so enjoy better life with Hope Wallet. Dial *569*9# on your phone. Select Open Wallet. Put your details and fiam, your wallet does set. Hope PS Bank go sama you 500 naira a woof. Terms and conditions dey o. Hope, succeed. Hope Bank always.
So special to us, golden morn. So special to us. I cannot go a day without this goodness in a bowl, giving energy to make it stay golden. Golden morn, so special to us.
Ẹ jẹ́ n sọ fún yín pa Zainabu bó bá ti jí láàárọ̀ yóò kọ́ jẹun tó dáa yóò wá gbé pabambari lé lórí Gideon syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12 ara ti mókùnù ọpọlọ ti jí pépé iṣẹ́ yá.
lẹ́ òjò.
káàárọ̀ Zainab ìdí nù ti fi máa pegedé lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ rẹ̀.
jọ̀ọ́bà náwó mọ̀wéhùn.
àti pàápàá ń bi eré Gideon syrup of hemoglobin ní èròjà vitamin B12 nínú tí yóò mú kọ́pọlọ àtàrà rẹ̀ ó jí pépé ní ìgbáradì fún àṣeyọrí tí ọ̀lẹ́gbẹ́ ń gbà gbogbo. mu ṣíbí méjì Gideon péré lójoojúmọ́ pẹ̀lú ṣíbí lásán tàbí kọ́ pòpọ̀ pẹ̀lú ohun mímu ẹlẹ́rìndòdò tó bá fẹ́ràn. ọ̀yá gbéra ńlẹ̀ bí akọni pẹ̀lú Gideon.
To be healthy, strong and active, I say. Take Gideon's.
Gideon syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12 agbára tí ń roni lágbára ẹ kàwé pélébé inú rẹ̀.
Ìfẹ́ mi, ẹni lọ́jọ́ ìfúnni lábẹ́rẹ́ wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, pẹ̀lú abẹ́rẹ́ aládàágún fún ìdáàbòbò ara ẹni yìí, a lè ṣeré ìfẹ́ fóṣù mẹ́ta láìsí fòyè oyún àìròtẹ́lẹ̀.
Bí báwo?
Màá fa ẹran itan mi, màá sì gá abẹ́rẹ́ yìí sórí itan tí mo fà. Káde máa gbádùn ara wa lọ fóṣù mẹ́ta nìyẹn.
Abẹ́rẹ́ kẹ̀, ṣé èèyàn wà nínú ẹ̀?
Kò séwu ìfẹ́ mi, abẹ́rẹ́ tíntínní ni bí eléyìí.
Àkíkà, ó ti gun kódà ó mìíràn rárá.
Ṣé bí mo sọ fún ẹ?
bó o bá fẹ́ lábẹ́rẹ́ aládàgún fúngbà àkọ́kọ́ lọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ ìlera fúngbà ní níyànjú fàlàyé nípa àwọn ọ̀nà mìíràn láti bọ́ lọ́wọ́ oyún àìròtẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ ẹ̀rìn èjì ọ̀kan lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ lórí airtel kó o dẹ̀ tẹ ọgbọ̀n tàbí kó o lọ sórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára discoveryourpower.org ìpolówó yìí wá látọwọ́ àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó ń bójútó ìlera ẹbí Society for Family Health pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń bójútó ètò ìlera.
ẹ̀yin ọmọ yìí ó máa dá àkàrà nǹkan díẹ̀ sílẹ̀ fún Ramadan yìí ó yá kí ni kára.
èso ewébẹ̀ ẹ má gbàgbé ìṣara lóore àwọn màmá o 3 crowns milk.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́ta.
rárá o 6.
ó dáa torí kó jẹ́ màmá ara agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́jọ.
ìṣúra aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ làwọn màmá torí náà fẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn sí màmá pẹ̀lú 3 crowns milk lákòókò Ramadan yìí.
3 crowns milk ìlera àwọn màmá ayọ̀ ẹbí.
Better don land o! Close up toothpaste don carry the senior brother of Awoof enter town. When you buy 140 grams close up, you go get free 25 grams close up complete fresh protection with no extra cost. That is to say, for every 140 grams close up red toothpaste wey you buy, free 25 grams close up complete fresh protection dey there for you. Make una rush am as e dey hot before e finish. Close up, stay fresh and protected.
Splash FM 105.5.
Thank you for being there. This is still Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. And we're looking at stories across Nigeria. Leaked audio, FG, ACF, others blast Obi. The Anis Ndigbo Tuesday advised the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, to come out publicly and clear the air on the leaked audio. That's one that we got from Daily Trust this morning on the newspaper. An update on the story we treated yesterday when we showed you a video of a man being brutalized, being assaulted by police officers. Prince Olawuwo Adejobi said Inspector Adejo Siaka, Inspector Friday Obaka, and Sergeant Ndiwa Kupevari from Rivers State. These are the men who slapped a man on the road in Rivers. They didn't just slap the man, they was flogging the man. They reported at the force headquarters yesterday, and he says trial will soon commence. He said they will update us as soon as possible. I hope that we will get enough update on these three police officers who assaulted Nigerian, in public glare. All right, so this House of Rep is also probing all the theft and inviting some agents of government. Let's listen to how this was done yesterday.
It does appear to conform with the constitutional provisions, and the payment of compensation does not appear to be somehow transparent. Let me state emphatically that while whistleblowers who may have volunteered information to this honorable House will receive the maximum legislative protection and confidentiality.
After 7 years, we are still where we are. I have been talking, I have been speaking. That is not the issue. It is the will, the commitment to see that Nigerian resources that have gone to global destination should be brought back to Nigeria.
The motion you then move in the 8th Assembly was the investigation concluded, and if it's concluded, so that we'll be able to have it as a referral document, the clerk can get that report that was laid.
Investigation, to the best of my knowledge, was perfectly done, and was brought to the committee of the whole as are there. Whether it was unanimously passed is what I cannot recall.
If there are recoveries being made from whistleblower revelations, we expect those monies to be paid into the accounts of the Federation as required by law, and if any expenditure is to be made, it should come through the National Assembly. But that does not appear to be the case, and we are inviting the Honourable Minister of Finance, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, and all other stakeholders involved in the implementation of the whistleblower policy to appear before the committee.
Thank you for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. We will be taking your calls, but Jumoke Do is here this morning. Hello, Jumoke.
Hello, Shehu. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Badon.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like us to look at first resident doctors kick over 5-year compulsory service proposal. Its definition of modern-day slavery, they say. You recall the story of how House of Representatives is planning to put a lien on the certificate or license of medical doctors in Nigeria who are just graduating for 5 years for them to serve the country. What do you say?
It's something that is supposed to have come long ago, that is coming too late. Modern day slavery. There's also modern day misuse of resources. So how much do you train as a medical doctor in Nigeria? Does it take you to train as a medical doctor in Nigeria? And then you take away all of that to go abroad. For me, if I were government, I did rather open my med schools because it is cheap, standardize it and attract people from other countries, and avoid the modern day slavery thing. Probably make it even more expensive for people who want to study medicine in Nigeria. If NMA, because one of the things that is going to come up is NMA could hand twist or arm twist government into dropping it. However, the UK, in a rebuttal yesterday, also said they are putting an embargo on recruiting from Nigeria.
It's recruitment.
Yeah.
People will still be able to apply to the UK and get a job. It doesn't mean that they cannot. It doesn't mean that they cannot apply to get a job. Well, what it means is that they cannot be recruited by agencies, in that number.
Yes, in that's different from what they have done in the last 3 years. It was massive. It was massive, and really, I feel for young people, because even those who are out there, I have a lot of classmates who are medics, and I know that it's not easy for them out there. Quite a lot of them are even dropping the medical practice to do other things. It's easier to practice in Nigeria than to practice abroad. So,
but it's still attractive for them to go.
It looks attractive, but if you ask those of them who are above 35, it's a lot more difficult now for them to practice.
Now, tell me, do you think it's proper for government, for Nigeria, to ask them to stay for 5 years without providing enabling environment to work?
The balancing, I will always be for the balancing. I will always stand for the balancing. You can't ask people to stay without an enabling environment. You can't ask people to stay without the correct incentive, respect for the nature of the work that they do, the quality of service that they need to deliver, protection of that environment, facility. Because all of us know, if you take the major hospitals, teaching hospitals, for example, what you see there leaves nothing to behold. So I stand for that we all could stand along with NMA on the issue of upgrading of facility and manpower in such a way that practicing in Nigeria is also prestigious, respected, is not going to stifle upward mobility of your profession, which is something that doctors are very particular about. Because, how could you be doing surgery almost on your fingernails when technology has given you opportunity to move years beyond that?
I love the fact that you feel it to be balanced. Nigeria to lose $23 billion to crude theft this year, would that be once?
Immediately you started reading that, I wonder who is warning and what the umpire, the first thing that occurred to me immediately that news flash came up again, which we all know is something that has been on, is how patriotism disappears when people are at the helms of leadership. Because it's so difficult for me to continue to comprehend that it is within this circle, the people who are caught, they are not unknown when they are caught. So, warning, it's something that is child's play for somebody as high as the Speaker of the House of Assembly. We should be hearing what section of the law, what steps, the number of house meetings that have been held on this crude oil theft, the aspects of the law. Who are they enabling to continue to work on all of this?
The House is summoning the stakeholders.
There's nobody else to be summoned. They've over-summoned. If we can do a frenetic quick check now of the number of times crude oil theft has been on the table of the House of Assembly, actions that have been taken, data will show ineptitude. It will show lack of commitment, unpatriotic acts from leadership, more than even the citizens. It is an enabled thing from the hierarchy.
There's a book I wish I would buy, and when I see it, I will. It is Bala Usman's 200-page memoir,
I've read it.
On Toes, My Odyssey.
I read it, and it was a shaker for me, for the kind of things that go on.
Explosive revelations.
Yeah, and I think I was talking from the insight of reading it. I read it sometimes mid last year, and it shows the real dearth of patriotism in Nigeria and the danger a patriotic senior or hierarchy person actually faces in the country. And that's why one of the reasons why I struck hard, and I would like to thank the buyer of that book who enabled me, because I just fell upon it and took it on and said I was going to read this, and I finished it within a space of 2 days, even within my busy schedule. It was explosive for me.
I want to buy. I will have to look for the book.
It's available. It's available.
Yes, I'll probably go to bookshop and get a copy of it. She said, Amechi fired me from NPA over contract dispute. And she said here that someone had warned her that the minister would want her out when 2 important contracts were due for renewal. She writes, the first of these was the capital dredging contract, and the second, the service boat management contract. While the minister demanded an extension of tenure of the companies providing capital dredging services without due process, he got approval for the restoration of an expired service boat contract. He got this even though the company was owing the federal government, had violated the Treasury single account policy, and above all, longer had any contract with the NPA. Barhausman was suspended in May 2021 following an allegation of non-remittance of about 165 billion naira into the revenue fund account.
And this is not just the only memoir that needs to be read when it comes to serving Nigeria as a patriotic person. There's also one of the attorney generals, or one of the 7 attorney general, I think, under Jonathan, and his travels. We are a people who have come to despise anything that is challenging us to accountability.
Okay. I'll take calls if you want to call us now. 0809-155-1055. Maybe for like 2 or 3 calls. 0809-155-1055. 0805-699-8678. And 0706-949-3000. Anyone there? Good morning.
Good morning to you, Oluwafemi.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, madam.
Welcome, Olawuwo.
You see, the issue of our theft in the country is very worrisome and quite unfortunate. Honestly, who are the people doing this shady business? Are they not Nigerians? Let's be frank with ourselves. There's a lot of error in this administration that needs to be corrected by President-elect and all the new elected legislators of Federal Republic of Nigeria. A lot of error in this administration, honestly. They should please do this needful. Let them arrest these people now. Are they not Nigerians? Are they ghosts? I don't even understand the reason why they refuse to arrest all these people. 2.5 billion naira. Thank you. Have a nice day.
And you too do have a nice day. Appreciate you. All right. Hakim Alek on Facebook says, good morning, Oluwafemi. There are so many things that are being hidden from Nigerians concerning subsidy issues. If anyone thinks its removal will make an end to petrol scarcity and uplifting of burdens from federal government, alas, will be the case. Subsidy removal will inflict more hardship to common man on the street. You know, I was asking a question this morning. Today, people buy the petrol at 250, 230, 210, some 195 if you go to some other major marketers. And the government says it's paying subsidy on this product. What are we paying for if we cannot get it at the regulated price? Is one question we need to ask. The second question is that when we remove this subsidy, what are we removing? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Shino. Calling from the UK. I just want to quickly talk about this issue of the proposed 5-year, would I say, ban or provisional license for doctors. So, to start with, I'm a doctor, and I was working in Nigeria before I moved to the UK. And I would say that there are some myths that need really to be probed. There's this story about subsidy for training doctors. I think that needs to be proved. Number one, if there's true subsidy for training doctors, were doctors just selected in the universities as the only ones to be subsidized, or everybody was subsidized? If everybody was subsidized, then why pick on doctors now? And why not ban everybody for 5 years? There are IT professionals. Why not ban them? There are people that are in Nigeria and are not working for Nigeria that are IT professionals. There are very many of them. So why not limit them from working overseas or for overseas companies or from traveling out of the country? This has opened its borders to very many IT professionals over the years. And up till now, I think they just even stopped, or they're just planning to stop the or change the format of the visa for IT professionals. So why stick onto doctors alone? I see it as being segregational, and that is wrong. That's one. Then two, this issue of subsidy. I think we really need to probe it. How do they subsidize it? Let me give you one example. If you are paying for afternoon in Nigeria, you pay way less than what those in the US, those in Canada, and those in the UK pay. Is government paying to subsidize afternoon music in Nigeria? No. So there are relative differences in the amount or the cost of living or the expenses with respect to location all around the world. And that doesn't come with subsidy. If you're saying you are subsidizing that, did you subsidize the amount of money that is being paid to our lecturers to lecture us? I studied in UC. I finished in the University of Ibadan. And I know for sure there were times in which I would not hear anything during the ward round because we were so many. So how will you now come back and say that you subsidized it? When I was studying in UCH, there was only one, just one, no, I think two ECG machines. And it's almost always locked up in the cardiology unit. Is that subsidy? And I come here and I see ECG machines in almost every ward that I enter to. And I just pick it up, even nothing. Pick it up and do ECGs on patients for us to analyze.
Shina.
And you call that subsidy?
Shina.
I think we should probe that issue of subsidy. It is a myth. It is a myth. Now, I understand the fact that people are getting out of the country and it is a call for alarm. I totally understand that. But they should do the needful. They should do the needful.
Okay,
you don't have to earn the same amount of money that people in the UK are earning.
Thank you.
Make the environment very conducive.
All right.
Let us be able to treat patients with happiness.
Okay, Shina, I thank you so.
That's one of the reasons. That is one of the reasons I left the country. I would want to treat patients, and patients won't be able to pay. We've been fighting for NHS to be across board, and it's been difficult. They should do the right thing and stop putting blame on others.
All right.
Look at it critically and do the right thing.
Okay. Thank you, Shina. Thank you for these very detailed analyses. He's asking us to probe that subsidy, that they subsidize the education for medical doctors. He's asking us to probe that.
We are not talking about subsidy. We are talking here about the cost of education in comparison to other countries.
Yeah, what he's saying is that if you said that you subsidize their education in terms of amount they pay for that training, that he wants to be sure that indeed they were subsidized. He talked about ECG machine, that he was in usage. I recall him. He calls me all the time.
We gave him quite a long time to have this argument. And I know that there are so many dimensions. We want to look at health administration in general. We want to look at health education in general. We want to look at outputs in general and inputs in general.
And so he said that there were 2 ECG machines in usage when he was studying as a student, and that they were locked up somewhere. And that when he got to this other client,
there are many models.
ECGs everywhere.
There are many models to assessing healthcare. So there's a model that is ongoing in Nigeria that we can begin to say that's a Nigerianized model, which is all of the.
Is that a standard everywhere in the world?
Well, it might not be the standard everywhere in the world, but if it is what is working for us in Nigeria, let's even see it working.
Is it really working for us?
No, let's even see it working. I don't disagree with him on government being responsible and stop pushing the blame. But I tell you Nigerians, and he knows it, we are very lapsed. We go to other systems and outwork ourselves, and we are within this system. And we begin to, when we say let's check accountability, we same Nigerians will go on strike for accountability.
Okay, we have to go. We have to go now. I was watching television this morning. I saw junior doctors on strike in the UK, and so it happens everywhere. All right, so we'll take a break. When we return at 8 o'clock, we'll be doing political discussion right here on this frequency. Thank you, Jumoke, for coming on the program today. And thank you, Bosu, for everyone. Okeke Obu said he cannot imagine buying bread for 2,000 naira when fuel subsidy is removed. Look, we're already buying at 1,200 naira. May Nigeria survive?
Splash FM 105.5.
Splash FM 105.5.
In my 25 years of practice as an obstetrician, I get asked a lot of questions from expectant and pregnant mothers. One regular question is, what supplement is good for me and my baby during pregnancy? I always recommend Oberon 6 because of the positive feedback I've gotten from my patients over the years. Oberon 6 contains essential minerals and vitamins necessary for the healthy development of baby and mother before, during, and after pregnancy. Give you and your baby the nutrients you deserve with Oberon 6. Oberon 6. Healthy mother, healthier baby.
Àwọn tó kán létí wọn mọ ohun tó dára o. Kásìsì máa ni wọ́n ń lò. Kásìsì ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ òde òní náà fi ṣe. Kásìsì ó dára kì máa í mòrú. Ó tún ṣe ege sí odi ìwò tẹ́ bá fẹ́ o. Ó lè kókó. Ó dára ó rẹwà ó là ló pẹ́. Ó lè kókó. Ó dára ó rẹwà ó là ló pẹ́. Prestige wà. Lẹ́gẹ̀dì gan ìyẹn ò lẹ́gbẹ́. Diamond wà. Crystal pẹ̀lú Supreme tó dára. Ilé iṣẹ́ Nigerite ló ṣe wọ́n jáde o. Nigerite calcicil kò táwọn yọjú.
Calcicil sílẹ̀ tí ilé iṣẹ́ Nigerite fìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ayé òde òní gbé jáde. Ó rẹwà, ó le koko, ó lálòpẹ́. Bàbá ń bari ẹ̀ ní pé kì í mòoru. Ó yàtọ̀ láwùjọ àwọn sílẹ̀. Ó tún ṣe gẹ́sì ìpele. Bẹ́ẹ̀ owó rẹ̀ mọ̀ níwọ̀nba. Ó sì wà ní gbogbo ilé ìtajà Nigerite jákèjádò Nàìjíríà. Nigerite calcicil ó ju sílẹ̀ lásán lọ.
Ẹ̀yin ọmọ yìí, ó máa dá àkàrà nǹkan díẹ̀ sílẹ̀ fún Ramadan yìí. Ó yá kí ni kára.
Èso. Ewébẹ̀, ẹ má gbàgbé ìṣara lóore àwọn màmá o. 3 crowns ni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́ta.
Rárá o, 6.
Ó dáa. Torí kó jẹ́ màmá, ara agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́jọ.
Ìṣúra aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ làwọn màmá. Torí náà, fẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn sí màmá pẹ̀lú 3 crowns milk lákòókò Ramadan yìí.
3 crowns milk. Ìlera àwọn màmá, ayọ̀ ẹbí.
You be driver, person wey dey run haulage, abi you get mouth for the haulage industry? All the tax ogas for we obodo Nigeria plus FCT don come together as joint tax board to scatter all the wuruwuru plentiful taxation so that you go dey pay only once to the right tax collectors. From now, you go only pay single haulage fee and single interstate road tax to the correct person. Come collect your road tax sticker. Hi! With this your road tax sticker, now to the drive cool to any part of the country, they do your business they go without fear say person go disturb you, collect your money by force or even make you pay 2 times. This sticker na 3,500 naira only and you fit buy them from any of the states and FCT Internal Revenue Service or through any of the vendors with them approved. In fact, anybody fit buy them from www.jtb-sirts.com/. Make you also download the JTB app from Google Play Store. For more information, visit www.jtb.gov.ng. Hello?
Ọ̀rẹ́, ṣé o wà nílé?
Kó mo wà l'Abuja, máa dé lọ́sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀.
Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ẹnìkan ló wá mójútó ilé epo ẹ̀. Wọ́n á ṣe é léṣe. Ẹgbẹ́ tèmi kì í wọ́n nílé epo mi. Lórí èmi ń tèmi, kó wọ́ pẹ́ ni o.
Kò sí fòyà ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Gbogbo fuel pump tó wà nílé epo mi pátá ni mo ti fi e-pump sí. Mo ń mọ iye jálá epo tí mò ń tà lójúmọ́. Iye oníbàárà mi àti àkókò tọ́jà mi ń tà jù lójúmọ́. Kódà mo lè ṣe àyípadà sí iye owó ọjà látòrí dashboard mi ń bì yìí. Kó sì hàn lórí pọ́ǹpù kọ̀ọ̀kan lọ́hùn. Ṣé wàá rí i pé èmi gangan ni kówó pé?
Ọ̀rẹ́, ó nà ọ́ mí.
Ìwọ náà
náà ra e-pump sáwọn fuel pump ẹ̀. e-pump ń ṣiṣẹ́ dójú àmì owó rẹ̀ ò sì gani lára. láti béèrè fún tiẹ̀ pè sórí 0913-104-8999 tàbí 0803-609-6226. Website www.epump.africa. e-pump kówó pé ni o.
Hey, Omo! See package! This is what I call full house.
Yes, sir. That's me. I full.
Huh? Who's talking about you? I'm talking about this Peak Yogurt Drink Full House Pack in your hand.
Introducing the Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House Pack with more refreshment, which contains fresh cow milk. Share and enjoy full house goodness filled with essential vitamins and minerals. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Kadara, destiny. Who decides where we are born?
Guns of Lagos. Now the ogbonge tori of Isaleko Street King, Obalola and im gang. With better actor and celebrity them like Toby Bakary, Adeswai Tomi Wellington, Chike, Iyabo Ojo, and plenty big names them. Hey, Guns of Lagos, na correct film. Download Prime Video now.